I saw a recent report whereby a 2-year-old child was tested positive for COVID-19 after visiting a mall. Alam ko kayong mga magulang gustong-gusto ninyong ipasyal ang mga anak ninyo after staying for so long inside your home due to lockdown. Pero isipin ninyo kung maliliit pa ang mga anak ninyo at hindi pa vakunado, do not expose them to the virus or virus. Wala pa silang depensa. They have no defense mechanism in their system in bodies of COVID-19. Hindi katulad ng mga bakunado na. On this note, I am calling all local government units to consider passing ordinances for age restriction among minors who can be allowed to go to the mall. Certainly, we cannot allow those below 12 years old or those getting or still unvaccinated to be exposed to the risk of getting COVID-19 in public places. Again, sabi dito, IATF to passport, we cannot allow those below 12 years old. So tandaan ninyo yan. Again, to the parents and guardians of minors who are unvaccinated, please mindful of the risk. Part of caring for them is thinking about their safety. I hope no one among our children will get COVID-19.
President Duterte is not going up against his daughter, but he's not retiring from politics either, as he's running for senator in next year's polls. Following another surprise substitution, former NTF-ELCAC spokesperson General Antonio Parlade is also running for president and hits at Senator Bong Go for allegedly controlling President Duterte. Former broadcaster Tulfo tops the most recent SWS senatorial survey commissioned by Strat-based ADR Institute. President Duterte approves the recommendation to ease restrictions in the use of face shields, particularly in areas under alert levels 1 to 3. And PBA action is back this month with its inaugural 3x3 tournament. Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. President Duterte is looking to push his retirement back for a few more years as he makes a last-minute bid for a seat in the Senate. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us the front seat to the story.
For a while, it almost looked like a showdown between Sara Duterte and her father, President Rodrigo Duterte. But when the dust over the substitution theatrics settled on Monday, the president opted not to challenge his own daughter's bid for the vice presidency. A representative of the president filed his COC substituting Lizelle Visorde in the senatorial race under the federalismo ng Dugong Dakilang Samahan.
Pagpatuloy ang kanya pong mga programa that was used also in 2019 to fight drugs, criminality, corruption, terrorism, and push for federalism.
Over the weekend, the Duterte family feud threatened to turn political when Communications Secretary Martin Andonar announced that the president was going head-to-head against his own daughter. The president was irked that Sara opted to run for vice president of Bongbong Marcos. The president's men rushed in to say that all was well among the Dutertes.
Nagmamahalan po ang mag-amang Rodrigo Roa Duterte at Mayor Inday Sara.
But while he avoided a direct challenge to his own daughter, the president was still doing battle by proxy. Over the weekend, Duterte said he convinced Go to run for the presidency at the last minute. But the last day of substitutions brought in a new candidate for the president. Antonio Parlade will run as president under the Katipunan ng Demokratikong Pilipino. Parlade had been the mouthpiece of the government's anti-communist drive. Asked why he chose not to run under Go's administration ticket, Parlade surprised many.
The president
I cannot align with Senator Bong Go. I'm sorry, but isa siya, kasama siya sa problema ng bayan natin.
Parlade refused to explain what he meant.
You ask your people, you ask your constituents, you ask people in the government, you ask the AFP.
Parlade still has to hurdle a major obstacle. He's substituting for Antonio Valdez, who is registered as an independent.
Basic principles, kapag independent yung kandidato, wala siyang substitution.
COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez said Parlade's case will still be reviewed. The final list of candidates will most likely be by December. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, We Are One News.
President Duterte's last-minute decision to run for Senate drew mixed reactions from his political allies and rivals. PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag said the move for Duterte to run under PDDS instead of PDP Laban was, quote, a strategic decision. He says the alliance of the two parties is further strengthened by Duterte's decision to file his COC for senator. Meanwhile, Senator Manny Pacquiao refused to say much about his former ally's latest move. He just said that Duterte's move is not barred by the Constitution, so it should be respected. On the other hand, former Senator Sonny Trillanes did not mince his words when he accused Duterte of being power-hungry. Trillanes said he doesn't expect much from Duterte if he becomes senator, given his absentee record. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana denied Parlade's statement that most AFP generals don't trust longtime Duterte aide Senator Bong Go. He said the agency considers Bong Go as a partner in all its programs and modernization efforts. Additionally, Lorenzana said President Duterte's decisions are his own and is not easily influenced by others, as Parlade may have purported. Former broadcast journalist Rafi Tulfo is the most preferred senatorial candidate for the 2022 elections. That's according to an SWS survey commissioned by the Strat-based ADR Institute. Sorsogon Governor Cheese Escudero is at the second spot, followed by Taguig Representative Alan Peter Cayetano, House Deputy Speaker Loren Legarda, and Senator Mig Zubiri. Former Vice President Jejomar Binay and ex-DPWH Chief Mark Villar are tied at 6. Re-electionist Senator Risa Ontiveros ranked 8th, while Jinggoy Estrada, Robin Padilla, Noli Di Castro, and Joel Villanueva rounded out the Magic 12. After his failed bid to join the International Law Commission, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque has formalized his desire to become a senator. Roque was among the personalities that filed their certificates of candidacy during the last day of substitution yesterday. He is replacing Paulo Martelino, who first filed his COC for senator under the People's Reform Party.
Hindi pa po tapos ang ating mission. Kinakailangan mapatupad ng gusto ang universal healthcare, pero ngayon po, importante rin na habang hindi po mawawala si COVID-19, lahat tayo ay makapaghanap buhay. So ang panawagan natin, ingat buhay para sa hanap buhay, at ginawa natin minsan, lalabanan po natin ang lahat na tututol na magkaroon ng hanap buhay ang mamamayang Pilipino.
The use of face shields is no longer mandatory in areas under alerts level 1, 2, and 3. That includes Metro Manila. This after President Duterte approved the IATF's recommendation to lift the face shield requirement in these areas. However, face shields are still mandatory in areas under alert level 5, as well as those placed under granular lockdown. And for places under alert level 4, LGUs and private establishments are given the discretion to mandate the use of face shields. President Duterte, meanwhile, reminds residents of areas under alert levels 1, 2, and 3 that although they can skip the use of face shields, face masks should still be strictly used as a safety measure against COVID-19.
Pwede na ninyong you dispense with the shield but not the mask. Yung mask will forever remain and it will be a part of our day-to-day part of what? The safety measure. Kasi matagal pa itong virus na nasa hangin lang.
The Health Department says Metro Manila may see a downgrade to alert level 1 just in time for the holidays as COVID-19 cases in the capital region remain low. Jen Kalimon with the story.
Restrictions in Metro Manila is at its loosest, yet under alert level 2. And the health department is not discounting yet the possibility of more easing. Cases in Metro Manila have plateaued from the week of November 8 to 14. Daily case average 435, a slight increase from the week prior at 404. Due to improving COVID-19 situation in Metro Manila, the DOH said de-escalating the region to alert level 1 by next month might be possible. But gains have to be sustained.
Lahat ng areas, kailangan ang iyong low-risk case classification ma-sustain mo for 2 incubation periods. Meron kang vaccination coverage, 70% for senior citizens, 70% for those with comorbidities, and at least 50% of your targeted eligible population, bakunado mo.
That's going to be a challenge, as the target coverage for those with comorbidities has yet to be reached in NCR. Add to that the still elevated number of fatalities across the country. Based on DOH data, death incidents peaked last September with 6,145 deaths. It went down to 3,184 by October and further reduced to 345 in November. Regardless, NCR and the country overall remain low risk for COVID-19. Add to that the increasing vaccination rate. From November 2 to 8 alone, the country administered a weekly job rate of 5.4 million. But despite all these developments, the DOH reminds business establishments to strictly observe capacity limitations, especially now that minors are allowed to go outside. But ultimately, ensuring kids will be virus-free would be the parents' responsibility, says the DOH.
Kaya natin inalaw ang minors lumabas is for their health, no? Mental health and physical health. Magkaroon ng exposure sa sun, maka-interact sa ibang bata, makapag-exercise, makalabas-labas outside of their homes. Pero pag nakita na ho natin na masikip yung mga lugar, wag muna po natin dadalhin ang ating mga kabataan dyan.
Reporting for News 5, Jen Kalimon, We Are One News.
It's all systems go for the return of PBA action this month. But this time, it's not going to be the usual 5-on-5 game. Instead, the league is launching its maiden 3x3 tournament. Gretchen Ho with the details.
Intense court action ×3. That's what PBA fans can expect from the inaugural PBA 3x3 tournament this month.
I think bagay naman siya sa mga Filipino kasi ever since mga bata pa talaga kami, 3-on-3 talaga is a go-to na laro na pwede mong gawin araw-araw with friends or competitive.
Teams vie it out for the inaugural season of the PBA 3x3 tournament here at the Inana Sports Arena in Pasig City. And it's a mix of highly scouted rookies and PBA comeback stars, leveling up the game that Filipinos love to play in their backyard. Just like comebacking veteran Larry Fonacher and sought-after Phil foreign player Brandon Ganuelas Rosser.
Iba na yung mga bata ngayon, mas mabilis, malalakas, so I have to find ways on how to compete with them.
We're in Pool A, and during the draw, it looks like it's going to be a competitive group, but it's good to see everybody, to kind of size everybody up a little bit.
The recently crowned Philippine Cup champs, the TNT Tropang Giga, also wants to carry the momentum at the PBA 3x3.
Gagawin namin din yun kung hanggang saan yung kaya namin mga kasama ko na tutuloy namin to para makuha namin yung champion.
There are 13 teams competing in 3 pools for 6 legs. The champion will take home 750,000 pesos. For the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, the goal is to create a 50-man training pool for international tournaments, especially the upcoming Olympics.
And hopefully, we can tap yung mga outstanding players natin to represent the country. Matira-matibay.
But will fans finally be allowed to watch the games in the venue?
Gumagawa na kami sulat by next week sa IATF kung paano yung mga fans. Kung ano requirements, konting pasensya po, makakapanood na ulit kayo ng PBA 3x3 live.
The PBA 3x3 kicks off on November 20, and you can catch it live on TV5, One Sports, and the Smart Giga Play app. Gretchen Ho, We Are One News.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. Presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos will be releasing his senatorial lineup for the 2022 elections. Fellow presidential aspirant Senator Bong Go will be visiting Malabon. And after cinemas in malls, smaller movie houses are now also reopening in Metro Manila. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 9 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.